Well, the requirements is for a city employee to be with the city 20 years. They can retire at 65 years of age for the male, 60 years for female. That is optional. They want to retire whether they don't want to retire, but it's mandatory that they retire at 72 years. Why haven't we had? It hasn't in the past, up until the last legislature met, which was a year ago, legal for the city to participate in any way in any pension for any city employee. How much money do you think that cost the city? Well, we say that it'll cost around $500. No, we didn't go into the financing of the retirement. Workable, feasible way to have it. The finance up to the city place.
Well, I believe that I'll have to agree with most national authorities and local officials that the major cause is the driver itself, although most drivers need adequate supervision. This supervision is to be done in the rural areas by the Highway Patrol and the courts. This activity, in my opinion, is not sufficient yet to meet the problem.
What activity, sir, do you mean is not sufficient?
The patrol, even though last year reports indicate that they had the highest year of activity of the last 20 years, I believe, I do not believe that that activity is still sufficient to do the job in the rural areas. And certainly, in my opinion, they're not getting the support from the courts that they actually need.
What would you recommend that could be done to see that the courts give them the proper?
On this, I can't tell you on the basis of just a 3-day study. I know that this situation exists, and I believe a more detailed study will come up with a plan which I hope will receive some consideration in Oklahoma.
What other areas studies?
Well, I intend to see that the governor gets a proposal for a study of the Highway Patrol, the handling of cases in courts throughout the state, and the driver licensing and financial responsibility and driver improvement program in the state.
Referee parking to is yours the final say so?
No, one of the judges or
Let's assume that I have parked and gotten a ticket. And now, what should I do?
you come here and present your reason for using the ticket. It will have to be made in writing. This time I enter it on my daily account. And tell you that the final hearing is released for one of the judges.
Now, that's in case where you yourself think that my reason is legitimate. But
yes.
What if you are in doubt about that?
Well, I will refuse to use the ticket. Tell you that you will either have to pay it or go before the court.
And what if I insist on going?
You will be required to post a $20 cash bond guaranteeing your appearance in court, at which time you
bring your case to the judge, and it is up to him.
In posting this $20 bond, I'm also gambling on the fact that I might lose. Is that correct?
I think that will be the way the ordinance will read, that in case the cost will be sliding, maybe from $1 to $20, as our other ordinance reads.
Since you have officially taken over as referee, have you had many people?
No, the surprising that more people have not come here.
Will there be any sort of blanket for say, companies or groups, certain types of work?
I don't think so. Experience only will be able to tell that.
Each case will be judged on its own
That's
merit.
right.
It is hereby recommended that the Chief of Police appoint and designate a member of his department with the title of referee, which officer shall be in charge of the Parking Violations Bureau. Said referee shall be directly responsible to the Chief of Police, and his duties shall be as follows. The referee shall cause to be kept a regular docket in which he shall enter all citations that are protested together with all necessary information relating to the case in question. Upon said docket, he shall cause to be spread his recommendation and the reasons therefore described in detail. He shall be empowered to recommend the disposition of certain parking violations to the Chief of Police and the judge of the Municipal Court of Oklahoma City in those instances where said citations have been protested and determined by the referee, the citations which for good and sufficient cause should be
I think that it will have a very crippling effect upon the economy of southwestern Oklahoma. If as much land is taken out of production, as I have been reading in the paper, that probably would be. Of course, we don't know. There's nothing official that I've read as to how many acres will be taken out. But I am of the opinion that the government would be better off to acquire title to less productive land for their missile experimental areas than that fertile land of southwestern Oklahoma. Well, I don't think that the Congress should take from the farm program the money they need for the missile program, because agriculture has suffered in this nation during the last few years, and I think a serious mistake would be made to take great amounts of money from the agriculture program and cause the farmers to suffer still more. Now, we could probably stand a cut back in the soil bank, but I think it would be a great mistake, a grave mistake, to reduce the amount of money for soil conservation and for flood control.
Of course, the immediate answer here is that is soil conservation as vital to our security as missile development? How would you answer that?
Well, it would be hard to determine which is the most valuable. We know this, that the population of the nation is increasing several million each year, and we know that the number of tillable acres, productive acres, are decreasing each year by several million acres because of flood, soil, and wind and water erosion. And we know that we've got to have food, so I think that they're both important. And looking at it from a long-range point of view, I'd say the soil conservation would be the most important. But this nation is strong enough to support both programs.